Alright, now first of all we're going to create the player object. We'll parent a capsule to an empty to use it as the body, rename the empty to player. Then we're going to add the camera, or our head, which is going to be parented to the player. Add it about eye level, then add a script called player. Add it to a folder called scripts. Now let's open that in Visual Studio. We're going to create a struct called movement settings. This will allow us to set the speed, the sensitivity, the object that our head is, because we're going to need to access that via the script to rotate it up and down. Then we're also going to need to set the transform of the player so we can rotate it left and right, as well as move it forward, back, left and right. We're going to make the player non-serialized because we're just going to get that straight from whatever object the script is attached to. Here we're going to attach the script. We can set the speed, sensitivity, and the head. But as you can see here, the start method will just get the player straight from whatever it's attached to. Now we're going to add another script which will do the movement. It's called player movement. Click on it. We're going to make it a static class. Everything, all the methods in it will just get called by the player. So we'll add a static class. This one doesn't have to derive from mono behavior. You saw me delete that. This function here will call two functions which will rotate and translate it. So we're going to call that every frame in the update. And send it our movement settings so it knows how fast to move stuff. Static class which will get called by movement. Call it rotation. It'll take the movement settings as well. Create a vector2, set the rotation, the up, down, and the left, right rotation using the mouse input. Add some comments here just so you know what you're doing when you come back to it. Now multiply it by the sensitivity. This way the sensitivity settings can control how fast you move. This here will rotate it around the vertical axis, going left and right. Left if the number is negative, right if it's positive. Now we're going to rotate the camera around the local camera axis. I had to make it negative, so that's you move the mouse up and it will rotate up, but you do it down, it'll rotate down. Now let's make sure that gets called in the movement function, which is then called in the player update. Now you see we can look around, the sensitivity settings seem good, we'll leave it at that. Moving on to movement, let's add another static void function, translation, takes in the movement settings. We're going to use the speed for this one. This one won't have anything to do with the camera, it'll just move the player, which is the parent of the camera. So press W, you move forward, press S, you move back, press A, you move left, press D, and you move right. Add some comments, forward, back, left, and right. Now multiply the movement vector by the speed. Now we're going to transform.translate the player using the movement vector, and we're going to use local space so that it respects the direction that you're facing. Add that semicolon, that's very important. Translate, yep, call it, call the function. Now press play and you should be able to move. Oh, that's way too fast. Let's go to play mode, click on the player, adjust the speed settings, set it to 0.1 instead of 1. Move, and that seems good. You can play around with it, but we're pretty much done here. Thanks for watching.